Alright, this is the 70Mai A800 4K Dashcam, and this is the most affordable 4K dashcam that you can get in the market for around 89 US dollars or around 412 ringgit. Now this thing here is a really interesting product because for one, it is extremely affordable, and second, it has a whole lot of smart features inside, and it also comes with a rear camera if you want it. So without further ado, I'm going to just do a really simple unboxing, find out what's inside the box, and we're going to head on over to our car to install this thing and find out how good it is. Now if you look at the box over here, this is how the A800 looks like, and it looks very similar to its Full HD sibling, which has been selling very well here in Malaysia. Now there are a couple of highlight features on the box here, which one of them is what I mentioned, supports 4K video recording, it has built-in Wi-Fi and GPS, so there's no separate module required, you have app enabled, and finally it supports a rear camera input if you order a separate rear camera. So let's take it out of the box and find out what's inside. So we are first greeted by a black box over here, which comes with manuals, I suppose. There's two stickers over here, which I assume it's to prevent some electrostatic or something when sticking the dashcam onto your windscreen. Well, let's bother about that later and put that aside. So we have a really thick manual book over here to show you how to install that. And finally, this is the dash cam. Alright, it's really nice, feels very premium, doesn't feel cheap at all, but we are just going to check out what's inside again to finalize our unboxing. So we have a bracket over here which you are going to install onto the dash cam. We have a secret power adapter which has two USB ports, so obviously this orange color port is for you to connect the A800's cable, and you get this thing which looks like a pry tool, which I'm not sure what's that. Let's just put that aside and find out later. And finally, you get a USB cable which is super long, one end that connects to the charger and the other end to connect to the A800 camera. So this is a micro USB connector, not USB-C unfortunately, but I guess we are definitely fine with that. Okay, so according to the user manual, this is a wiring crowbar. So this is definitely useful if you are doing your own installation and you want to hide the wires, and you can use this tool to kind of like push the wire into those rubber flaps so that you can hide the wires pretty well. All right, so first of all, before we go to our car, we're just going to power up this thing here to find out the user interface. So there is already a kind of like a screen protector applied, which I'm just going to take it off. And we are going to plug it in just like this, power on. So it has a built-in battery already, so I think the battery is just good enough for a short period recording. Alright, so this is how the user interface looks like. So starting up, it asks you to choose the language. There's no touch screen over here, so you gotta use all these buttons here just to make the selection. So let's do English. And let's go to next. It shows you the status of the indicator light right here. So currently it's on blue color, it's on transmission mode, which I have no idea what that is. So let's press next again. And the date, let's just leave everything default by now. And now we see this parking surveillance message that says that the parking surveillance cable is not installed, which leads me to assume this is the hot wire cable that you need to purchase separately if you want the camera to be powered by your car's battery, so it could monitor your car all the time as long as it is connected to your car's battery. Alright, let's just press the OK button. And thanks for your use of 70Mai Dashcam A800. So we have downloaded the app already on our phone, which we are going to find that out later. Let's just go back.
Abnormal time detected. Please calibrate the time manually.
Alright, so it has a pretty nice English voice happening here. So we're going to set it all up and let's hit the road right now. Okay, so this is going to be a great time to test out this camera because we are going to see some heavy rain later. So I have this bracket here which you are going to insert it to the camera like this, and it's good that it already has a double-sided tape right over here, which I'm going to peel this off. So there we go. So this is what you're going to do next. So we have this plastic screen protector lighting over here. So apparently this is where it kind of supports the double-sided tape. So I'm just going to tear this off, and we are going to have it paste over here. All right, so you can see that it actually sticks onto your windscreen really easily, and it has this guide over here where you're going to paste your camera just like this. So I'm going to do it like this, and it should go in pretty easily. So there you go. This is how you install the 70Mai A800 Dashcam. It's pretty simple and straightforward. So we're going to install the rear camera right now, which shoots at 1080p. So it has a double-sided tape over here as well, which I'm going to peel off this white color sticker here and install it simply just like this. So do note that you can actually rotate the camera just like this, which of course we're going to check the view on the main camera later. And we're going to just take this long cable and pull it all the way to the front and just plug in this connector over here. It's a proprietary connector, by the way, into the A800 Dashcam. And the final step is of course plugging in your USB cable. So note that I'm not using the provided USB cable because I think it's really too long and we're just about a short distance between the camera. So I'm just gonna plug it in right now. So there's one thing that I don't really like about this rear camera cable because it's an L shape and it goes in this way. It's not reversible, by the way. So you just gotta kind of squeeze your micro USB cable a little right over here. So there you go, magnet is connected. And let's align it for a bit to align it properly with your recording view. So there you go, all looks good. All right, and we are all set. The SD card is also in as well. So I've actually inserted a class 10 micro SD card. So it is already recording 4K at 30 frames per second, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go through the system settings for a bit. So we are looking at the video settings here. So this is where you can configure your emergency video, whether you want it to be on high sensitivity, which I usually don't want to do that because there's a lot of bumps on Malaysian roads. So I'm just going to put it on low sensitivity, right? And now we are going to recording duration. Now this is where you can configure how long do you want per video to be. So 1 minute is fine because I would like to have multiple files in my SD card so that I can track easily. All right, so let's just keep it at 1 minute and let's go back and let's go over to some other settings such as video coding. This is the encoding. So it's now on high compression ratio, which would affect the quality. So I'm just going to set it to low compression ratio for the highest quality. All right. And let's head on over to video resolution. So here's the thing, so even though it records at 4K resolution, so once you set it to low compression ratio, it actually limits video recording to 1080p. So let's go back up to the video encoding here and set it up to high compression ratio because we want to see how 4K looks like. And let's go down here. It even lets you set the video format if you actually want to. NTSC 60 Hz is fine. And let's just go down. And finally, that's your speed and latitude, which is provided by the GPS inside. All right, finally, let's go to the system settings here. Let's see what we can do with it. So you have your Wi-Fi hotspot, which actually enables the connection between the camera and your smartphone. And you have recording, which I'm not sure what is this. So we're just going to enable it anyway. So we have ADAS, which is an assistance driver system. So it kind of lets you know whether you are offline or not, or the front car is moving already. So we can just turn it on to find out how well it works actually. So this is where you need to configure the level of your camera, which there's a yellow color line over here. Let's do next step. Turn the lens to ensure that the distant horizon is within the highlighted area. Carry out. Let's do it.
Calibration starts.
Alright, so I have to drive a little to get the ADAS function activated on this thing. So these are the things that you can do right here. So it has car ahead mode, which means it tells you when the car in front of you has already started moving. It has lane departure warning and front collision warning. Right, pretty standard ADAS features. And there's the ADAS display. So marking scenes. So after enabling a marking scene, cars and lane markings range can be marked on the main interface in real time. So let's see how that is. It's really turned on right now. And let's just go down. That's the calibration mode again. And we are pretty much done. So let's just go back to the main screen and see what happens. So this is what happens when you have the marker scene option enabled. So when you happen to depart a lane, so I'm going to do that. And if I depart a lane, you will actually see a red line coming out to tell that you have actually departed the lane, which is actually pretty cool. But I think you probably won't be seeing this too much since you're driving. Of course, you're not supposed to look at the screen, but if that actually gets recorded on video, this is going to be pretty cool. So it is now starting to rain already, where most cameras will tend to fail in its ADAS feature. And now we are going to try and see whether the front collision warning works. Of course, I'm not going to bump into a car, but once we make a U-turn, we're just going to stop right behind an object. Alright, so let's do the U-turn right now. So we are going to just stop right in front. There is a bus over there. Just going to pick up some speed. And we're going to make the brake right now. You should be able to see a squarish box right there that mentions the object collision. There we go. Do you actually see the yellow box there? So if you get really up close to the object, it will actually tell you that you're almost to collide with the object in front of you. Lastly, we're going to talk about the remaining features of the A800. Now look at the screen over here. So you get 4 buttons right over here. So the first button is basically to switch to the rear camera. So when you tap on it, it switches to rear recording. So basically, it is recording both the front and rear at the same time. But the really cool thing is that if you actually want to take a look at your back instead of using your rear mirror here, you can actually tap on this button to look at what's behind you. So I would say that is actually pretty cool. So this button here is the emergency recording button. So just in case if you want to record something that's really important, all you need to do is to tap on this and it will record kind of like a 30-second video into the memory that will not get deleted. And the third button gets you into the image gallery. Now I'm really liking the interface of this camera because it categorizes the video so well that it saves you time from finding the video that you need. So if I want to go to my front camera video, of course I go into this one, and this is the amount of recording that I've done right over here. And if I want to go to my back camera, which is this one, the backup camera video, this is what is being shot on my rear camera. Alright? And emergency video, it only shows you the videos that's captured during emergency mode. And finally, parking video, which is not available because we are not connected to our car's battery. And finally, you have your photo if you happen to take photos with this camera. Now, let's talk about the video quality of the dashcam when we are driving in a rainy weather. It's not exactly the heaviest rain we had in the afternoon, but the front camera captures very impressive detail and you can easily make out number plates. The back camera shoots at 1080p, which you can definitely notice a slight downgrade in image quality from the main camera, but it still manages to capture details properly, even in this rainy weather. As we approach the evening, the main camera begins to show its potential in low light. Even when I am driving on roads without much street lights, you can still make out distant vehicles and their number plates. But the back camera is unfortunately disappointing as video turns out to be really grainy and lacks sharpness. On a good weather, both cameras capture impressive detail and colors at 30 frames per second. Overall, I have no complaints about the 70Mai A800 Dashcam's features, although I wish it has the option to record videos at 60 frames per second. But for the price it is retailing for, it's a win for everyone who wants a really good dashcam without breaking the bank. That's all for my review and thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more videos and I will see you in the next one.